So this one is feeling very fiery this morning after moving through another layer of shame. Happens, healing. Very fiery this morning about the radical importance of your purpose. And I want to break that down into 3 different things: why your joy, your callings, and your fire. Read rage. Read your dragon fire. All really, really matter. So let's get into it. My name is Inga Brewer. This is the Healing Revolution community. If you're catching this on YouTube, welcome. Hit subscribe. So let's get into it. Okay, there's a little bit of a streaming issue. So let's see. Okay, so the recording's continuing, which is good. And it seems like we're live. So if you're here live with me, say hi. I'm getting really excited to talk about this. I think it's so important. And for years, there's 2 topics that I have shied away from, even if I know everybody wants to talk about them. And I know I have a lot to say. And what I have to say is maybe a bit controversial. Those 2 topics are purpose and intuition. And we're going to weave both into this video today. So if you're live with me, pop in all the questions. Like, let's make this interactive. I don't know what I'm going to be saying. I am hopping in because I've got that fire inside of me. And I'm kind of curious to hear what's going to channel through. And also, we get to do this together. If you're watching the replay here on Facebook or on YouTube, pop in questions. Like, let's still make this a conversation because this radically freaking matters. If we're going to create a world that is way more prone to healing, that is way kinder, that is way more respectful of who we truly are at our essential soul level, that means we all need to step it up and we all need to get real. We need to get real. So let's freaking jump into it. Okay, so there's the three elements, I think, that are really, really, really important in living your purpose. Okay, so the first one, before we even go on the first one, let's lay down some groundwork. There's an assumption, right? That there's this purpose that we all have that is like pre-inscribed before we come to Earth that says, okay, this is your goal for being here. And I think a lot of people get tripped up by the idea that this has to be some kind of job. This has to be some way you make money. This has to be some grandiose thing. For some people, it will be your job. It will be a grandiose thing. And for many people, it will not be your job and it will not be some grandiose thing. I believe that we can come here, if we come here at all with intention, but if we do, we come here to learn certain things, to experience certain things. And we already have a guidance system in us that's going to guide us towards learning particularly those things. So first of all, we come into this body, in this time, in the family that you're born into. All of that are sort of pre-built-in gifts to either facilitate your purpose by letting you discover your joys really early, or will give you the experiences and the pains you need to learn by contrast and to wake up your fire and to wake up your purpose through that way. So with that assumption sort of out of the way, and nobody knows if that's true, it's just an idea that helps us navigate this world somewhat. It would assume that you coming into this world have something, some memory of the beyond. We're going to call that your soul for this moment. The soul that is part of the eternal you that is also with you in this body. And this soul communicates with you maybe through your intense joy, through your desires, your calling, and through what I'm calling your fire. But your something that's burning up inside of you that needs to come out. So our expression is required if we're going to live our purpose. You cannot live your purpose while dumbing down and hiding who you are. That's number one. If you're on YouTube, I think my Express videos are there somewhere. You can maybe find them. Yeah. Okay, so your expression is required. So if you're terrified of expressing yourself, get over it. That's really easy for me to say because I was terrified of expressing myself. Like, it was the scariest thing in the whole wide world for me. I couldn't look people in the eye. Really, I had to train myself to look people in the eye. I would blush or falter or let all my words trail off as soon as somebody looked at me. Expression, not easy, but it is required. So I'm telling you to get over yourself, because if you want to live your purpose, you just have to become willing to be who you are and to let others see it in some ways. So expressing that joy. Now, here's a cool little story that I find illustrates this really well. I'm in Mexico with my husband for the winter. And yesterday we went on a really beautiful long beach walk. Glorious, beautiful, we're soaking it up. It's really beautiful. And we walk past this turtle sanctuary. And there's quite a few here in this area in Puerto Vallarta. And what they do, they find turtle eggs in the sand in the beach because the turtles come here to lay their eggs and to hatch. But of course, those eggs are really vulnerable on the beach where there's tons of tourists, people walking. And so volunteers go find these eggs and put them in this like enclosure where the eggs can just be for a while until they're ready to hatch. And when they're ready to hatch, well, they help the little turtle over to the ocean. And that's it. And so we walk past this. And my husband really, really loves animals. And he has a conservationist soul, I would say. And it moves him. And in the summers, like, he gardens like his life depends on it. Last year, he planted a whole field of sunflowers for the bees. And this is something that really moves him. And so we walk past this, and later at night, he asked me, don't take this the wrong way, but when we walked past that turtle sanctuary, you didn't for a second think about volunteering, did you? And he said that don't take it the wrong way because, yeah, I could get defensive and be like, well, turtles matter, but no, and I'm not a bad person for it, and defending myself. But I heard in his voice that it really was an attack. It was really a curiosity. And what the curiosity was really about was realizing, like, he is coded for this kind of thing. He walked past that and he felt this tremendous urge of, like, how can I help? How can I be of service to this value? This is what gives him great joy, great value, and great purpose. So these joys, these things that are unique to you, I would posit that they're encoded in our soul, and it's kind of our life's mission to undig them, to dig them up like the little turtle eggs, to find what they are, and to maybe look around and be like, wow, this is unique to me. And that's what my husband was doing yesterday. For me, what lights me up and brings me to the verge of tears is things like listening to, lately it's the Brene Brown podcast, which I've been avoiding for a long time because it brings me to such a heightened state of, I love concepts, being broken down, and I love finding the right words for things, and I love trying to live my life in a conscious way, and I love trying to lead from that place and help us all affect change with purpose, with beautiful, succulent, unique to each of us purpose. Because there's something in me that has been there all my life. I think there's something in my soul that is coded for leadership, and I've shunned that, and I've ridiculized myself, and I've shamed myself for that plenty. But the leadership that is coded in my soul is the kind of leadership that places each person in their own leadership, so that together we get to affect radically beautiful, purposeful change that comes from the depths of our souls, that nourishes the depths of our truth, that comes from the true essential magic joy of who we are. And that is coded differently for each one of us. And so I could be asking my husband, why doesn't that turn you on? Why doesn't that light you up? Looks like the live video is interrupted again. So if you're here on the recording, thank you for your patience. Don't know what's going on with my computer. Maybe we're back. Yeah, looks like we're back. So I'm not looking around me asking, like, how come you don't value that thing? No, that is mine to mine. It's mine to go find in the depths of me. It's mine to come and cultivate. It's mine to come and feel radically enlivened by. And so it's a clue as to what my purpose is. That is not your purpose. And if it were all of our purposes, who's going to take care of the turtles? We need people to take care of the turtles. We need to take people to take care of beauty in the world and making exquisite cutlery. And we need people to sail the world and inspire us all with a sense of adventure. We need each one of us to live our own purpose. So what I'm seeing here right now is that the live video is not working. I will upload this video. I am happily recording it. I am so happy about that. I'm going to write that down. Okay, so just keep talking and the live will get what the live gets. So we need each person's purpose to come alive, and it's radically important because only together can we really take care of this magical, vast, incredible world, be stewards of it. And I mean, there's another way in which the world is taking care of us. We don't owe it. Well, anyways. Whole philosophical question there. But we can do so much when we listen to simply what is our joy, what lights us up, what is unique to us, and what turns us on, what enlivens us. And these can be found anywhere. It can be in playing with your nephew. There's something in that enlivens you. It can be in when you're making a beautiful meal and you're crafting it all in a way that is just so. That enlivens you. That is part of your purpose. You are fashioning this world to make it more beautiful. thanks to you, thanks to your purpose. So those are hints. Those are the parts of your joy, what lights you up. And then there's the things that are inexplicably calling us. Inexplicably saying, oh, Inga, come this way. So for me, my first meditation retreat, that made zero freaking sense. 0 sense. Why would I go do that? And yet, without that, I wouldn't be here today. I don't know where I would be. I have to trust myself a little bit to say that I would probably have found and come to my purpose in other ways. But that was calling me. And I really didn't know what meditation was. I just knew it was 10 days of silence. I was getting myself into, and I was like, it's calling me. I'm going. And I had enough experiences to know that those like inexplicable voices inside of like, go do this, were worth listening to. I've had enough to look back and to see that every single time I took a leap of faith into something that was calling me, every time I could look back and I could connect the dots. I could see that it was the wisest thing for me to do. That it was my intuition giving me an experience that was going to point me towards my purpose. It was another clue. And we need to be willing for these things to make no freaking sense. There's just this feeling in the body, right? That is like, I need to, I got to, I must, I have to, I'm going. And when we listen, when we make them work, radical changes happen. So if the live is working, drop in the comments. Thanks, Laura. Sun looking good on me. Yeah, drop in the comments if you're live with me. But the stream is horrible, so you'll catch the replay and tell me, like, what have been some of the callings that you followed that made maybe little sense, but you just did them anyway. And looking back, you're like, holy shit, that changed my life. Almost every person I talk to when I'm interviewing them about doing Reiki. Now, I'm not saying this is the requirement for you to be taught by me. I'm not. But I would say a good 80% are like, I don't know. It's just calling me and it's loud inside of me. And there's an intuition that says, just do it, just learn it. And I have never seen that fail. And it's not because my teaching is so brilliant. During these pandemic times, I am really equipping people the way that I best can. My program isn't at its regular sort of way, although I have been upgrading Reiki 2. Still some spots left, by the way, and the Energy Healing Toolkit, which is now full. They say there's this calling, and I can tell their soul has been pulling in Reiki and the teachings that it comes with. And sometimes it's like it has to be done with you. And there's probably some codes that I hold that their soul is pulling in. So trust your soul to be calling in what you're needing by giving you these experiences, by being called to do these things. So again, this is where I see people tripped up. People think their calling needs to be a job with a common job description. Wrong, okay? Some people, yes. I've known a few in my life that it was like that. And then most other people, the calling is like, I need to take singing lessons, and I don't know why, and I'm scared, but I need to do it. Other people, it's, I need to go to this cafe today for this meetup. It's just calling me, and I don't know why. And then turns out the love of their life is waiting for them there. Callings can be small and they can be big. A lot of people have the calling to help people. Dig deeper. How do you want to help people? What gives you joy? Now put them together. What is it that gives you so much joy that you can use in this calling? So I want to help people. And I love, let's say for you, it's like I love working with my hands. And I want to take people with me into working with their hands. I want them to discover their artist in them. I want to help them remember that they are creative at their core. I want to help them undo all the bullshit about there being certain born artists and the rest of us are something else. Bullshit. Bullshit. Your fire says bull fucking shit. No. This is my calling. I want to create some craft workshops. I want to create some cool little tutorials of like how to make these little crocheted bonum and how to make them your own. It gives me joy. I'm called to do that. I want to put it on Etsy, and there's a fire behind it where you're seeing somewhere people aren't free and you want to free them. See how they work together? So your callings can be small, they can be big. There's one girl I was friends with. We met in CJET, so we were 17. And she was younger than the rest of us. I don't know, she had skipped a year somehow. And she was hell-bent. She had a calling on becoming a doctor. And her grades weren't really there. And then she went into university. She did a whole degree. Grades still not there. Doing sort of applying every year, getting rejected every year. She did this 5, 6, I don't know how many years. We stopped being friends at some point. But I heard that she got in and she gets to live that calling now. So for her, it was very like job specific. For most of us, it's not going to be that clear. And we're in a world right now where we don't need to have a job lined up for us to go and do the calling. That is over. Yes, jobs are still very important and we need to make money and we need to, keep things afloat. But thinking that your purpose is a job is going to keep you stalled. You get to create your own job. You get to create your own purpose. That is the magic where we're at right now. And it's scary and it's going to require courage and it's going to require sacrifice. It's going to require doing things really smartly, giving yourself the time, but all the while, follow your joys and your callings and let your fire speak. So that's the last thing I want to talk about today. Life, like I said in the beginning, life sometimes puts us in the perfect situation to give us the opposite of what we're here to create. It gives us contrast. It gives us pain. It gives us trauma. It gives us a particular sensitivity to a particular angle of life. Something we can see that is not right, that is harmful, that is violent, that is not right at all. And we get to learn from that. And it gives us a fire in our belly. So an example, this is a little bit of a silly example, but it really holds true for me. So I shared that words and communicating ideas really lights me up. And I somehow was born into a journey where I learned 3 different languages before the age of 7. And I was in 4 different schools, 4 different years in a row, from grade 1 to grade 4. And so all of that change and upheaval and languages led me to an experience where it was really hard for me to express the truth of who I was, because I was constantly learning a new culture, adapting, becoming who this new world wanted me to be so I could fit in and survive. Not literally, like nobody was going to like murder me, but that's what it felt to me as a kid. And so I saw a lot of miscommunication. Even when people spoke the same language, I was really attuned to not speaking the same language as someone, and really attuned to gaps in communication, and really attuned to body language, and really attuned to so many different things so that I could fit in really well. So one of the things that puts a fire in my belly is when communication is done unskillfully. That makes the dragon in me want to spout fire. Gets me really passionate, but not in a soft, sweet way. When it's alchemized, it gets to be soft and sweet and unattached. But this is a source for me. This wanting to help people communicate, be completely truthful to who they are, right? Another consequence of having adapted to so many different cultures and environments at such a young age, where having lost a sense of self and working really hard to reclaim that. I have a fire in my belly about that, right? I shared with you the leadership thing, wanting people to sit on their own throne, wanting people to be really truthful in who they are, because I can see how valuable and beautiful that is when they are sitting on their own throne, when they're communicating from a place of truth and power. And this, my friends, incidentally, is what the Soft and True program is all about. So we're unpacking all of this. We're putting all of this into action. We're doing deep healing in Soft and True. We are going to the core places where your fire lives. We're going into the core places of what stops you from knowing your own joy, knowing your own calling. We get you deeply magnetic, because the more true you are, the more magnetic you are. And this improves your relationships, improves your capacity to make money in a way that is aligned. It will be launching soon. I want to hold this healer's truth place where I'm going to be doing a few videos like these. Maybe this one's going to be part of it too, where we're going to really work this material as well. So that's going to be a precursor to Soft and True. If you think you're interested in Soft and True, get your ass in there. Non-negotiable. Healer's Truth. It's $30. It's 1 week. I said that I would start on February 1st. That may have been me having a little bit too much fire in my belly. So if you're already signed up, the two of you that are already signed up, I'm going to contact you, just let you know where I'm at with that. So I might stick with it. And so we start next week, or we start the week after. I want to kind of get this message out to as many people as possible first, because it matters. It really matters to me. And this is my version of volunteering with the Turtle Sanctuary, except this is mine and my husband's is his, and yours is yours. So I'm going to leave it at that. Join me there. I will drop the link when I drop this video.